Don't apologize. It would make my father's sacrifice meaningless. What he did wasn't for pride, house, or the kingdom. He gave his life to protect his friends. It was what he wanted to do. My father did whatever brought him the most satisfaction. That's how he lived his whole life. I promise you, he had no regrets. In fact, when he left the castle, he was beaming in a way I'd never seen before.
But if we'd only fought with a little more skill, the Margrave wouldn't have died at all.
We're at war, Felix. No matter how hard you fight, there are going to be times you just can't win. House Fraldarius fought well. The battle was so brutal that even Ash had to surrender.
Sylvain.
No. All of my hatred is reserved for these invaders. This foreign threat. They take everything from us and think nothing of it.
Golden Wildfire. 2 kings. The Federation army moves through Fraldarius like lightning. It will not be long until they march on the capital city of Fyrdiad. However, it is unclear how the Federation forces will be able to capture Fyrdiad, let alone seize control of the entire kingdom. What is the true purpose of their invasion?
What is it, Arval?
Perhaps you've forgotten by now, but think back to the battle at ALL. Amidst that blazing battlefield was a man named Myson assisting Fleisch. Do you remember him?
Yeah, now that you mention it. It had totally slipped my mind, what with all the excitement of Gerald's company joining us.
I have to say, your companions don't seem particularly concerned about the true nature of your powers. But have you yourself forgotten as well? About Tomas, and what you witnessed at the monastery 3 years ago?
Huh. Guess I did, yeah. I think I see what you're getting at, though. Tomas and Myson had similar powers, and they were probably working together. Which means, maybe I, and maybe your power.
Is everyone here? There's something I'd like to discuss with you all.
Fyrdiad is already in our sights. What exactly is there for us to talk about now?
Don't tell me you're calling off the attack!
No, of course not. This is actually something I've been mulling over for a while now. Let's say we win the next battle and manage to get the kingdom to surrender. What's next for Fódlan? We don't have the power to rule the kingdom, nor any interest in doing so.
I imagine we'd work out some sort of joint governance plan with the Empire, then negotiate the rest from there. Although, given the difference in power between us and the Empire, most of the kingdom's territory would likely go to them.
Exactly. And what would Edelgard's next project be? Leicester, making us a vassal of the Empire. The Empire takes control of us, and Fódlan's one big happy family again. I don't think that would come as a shock to anyone.
So, what are we gonna do about it?
We yank out the root of this conflict ourselves. We'll bring the war to an end on our own terms.
And by root, I assume you are referring to the Central Church?
I am. They're the one and only reason we're cooperating with the Empire, right? The Church wields their authority like some sort of righteous cudgel. The problem is, said authority was never theirs to begin with. They need to be stopped. That's the Empire's entire moral argument for this war. If they were to continue fighting after the Church is eliminated, it would be nothing more than blatant aggression.
But is it even possible to destroy the Central Church without conquering Fargus?
That's why we're going straight for the capital. Dimitri's going to answer that question for us.
Interesting. And what will he decide, hmm?
So we're basically forcing him to sever ties with the Central Church.
Ah, I see you do not need me to explain this one.
Exactly.
But the King of Fargus made a commitment to the Central Church when he granted them sanctuary. Decisions of that nature are not so lightly reversed.
Of that, I have no doubt. But if he refuses, this senseless war will only continue. The kingdom's lands will be ravaged, its people hurt or killed. I know Dimitri doesn't want that, and neither do we.
Ending this war with as few sacrifices as possible is something we should all be able to agree on. And if you do the math and weigh which option involves the fewest casualties, the answer is quite obvious.
I see your point. It does sound like it would be worth trying to convince him.
But would they do something so dishonorable? Fargus places a high value on chivalry, after all.
I don't know, but it's not going to matter unless we can actually get in a position to ask.
Hilda's right. We'll have to deal with this after the next battle, and that's assuming we can defeat Dimitri and his army. As always, I'm counting on you all to get us there.
Will this work? I've got an idea.
Here's what I had. I've got this under control.
One step at a time.
Supplies are the lifeblood of any army. Everything has its use.
Oh hey, looks like I'm not the first one to show up.
Hello there. No need to pay me any mind. I'll just be absorbed in my book here. I assume you've come to meet someone? As they've clearly not arrived yet, why don't you join me? Here.
Thanks. Hey, Linhardt, you're into all that spooky magic stuff, right? Like sorcery and crests and whatnot?
Yes. Why? Is there something you'd like to ask me?
Oh, no. I was just thinking it's kind of weird that you've never really been interested in my power.
Do you want me to be?
Yeah, I mean, I don't even understand it myself. But with you helping me, I might actually learn something.
Uh-huh. Well, not everything piques my interest. Your circumstances simply do not.
If you're not interested, then so be it. But is there any particular reason why?
Hard to say. Perhaps because a sword is the only thing you're able to manifest? Strictly speaking, I suppose your power does raise some questions. But that sinister weapon of yours, it just doesn't leave me all that interested in learning more.
Sinister, huh? That's one way to describe it.
Tell me, Have you ever beheld one of the hero's relics? They also possess the most peculiar aura. And yet, there's something almost divine about the terror they instill. But your sword? It's cold. Maybe even inhuman. In more complex terms, it's little more than an inorganic, dispassionate construct. Not a hint of the goddess's divine guidance in its design. It's not as if you were able to choose what you manifested, right? It just came to you.
True, but what if I could turn it into something else and start manifesting different things? Would you be interested then?
Is such a thing possible? I would like to see that for myself, I must admit. In fact, I'd be quite excited by that. What a fascinating topic to lay at my feet.
Hey, it was just a suggestion. I have no idea if I can actually do it.
But aren't you the one who brought it up?
Linhardt, you skipped the War Council meeting again. If you have any pride at all as a noble, it would behoove you to start acting like one.
I have pride. Some, at least. But speaking of noble comportment, we've both already betrayed the Empire. Is there any need to be overly focused on details?
Your tongue cuts like 1,000 sharpened blades. Nonetheless, I did what was required for survival. My dream of regaining my family status would be forever lost were I to perish, and I cannot permit such a thing to come to pass. All I do is for the sake of House Nouvelle's revival.
That's lovely and all, but
it is not lovely.
as the tale goes, House Nouvelle had passed down the crest of Macubal for many generations.
Cease your endless yammering and listen to me.
So I am forced to wonder why it is that you, a legitimate heir to the family, do not possess said crest. What's more, in its place you have the crest of Noah, who was one of the 4 apostles. Has your house stymied and deceived Imperial investigations for generations? And if so, how?
If you aren't going to listen to me, I refuse to even entertain answering that question.
Well, I've grown tired of speaking, so we'll have to continue this another time. Good night.
Wait, no, I'll answer you. Just don't treat me like dirt trodden underfoot.
Then, by all means. Perhaps in the course of your explanation, something of use to House Nouvelle's restoration will crop up.
I would like that very much. Well then. To be frank, it is said that Saint Noah is an ancestor of House Nouvelle. The saint feared her crest, already rare even in her time, could prove a source of utter calamity. As such, she forged a magic that tricked crest investigation devices and aided her descendants.
Fascinating. And is there anything else regarding Saint Noah?
Your disdain is palpable. Now, does any of that sound of use to restoring my house or not?
I cannot say. I must hear the rest first.
You realize it would be bothersome in the extreme if I told you everything and none of it was helpful, yes? If you wish to hear more, I must have a guarantee it will provide something I can use.
What a bother.
My instruction comes at a high price.
This is suitable.
How's this gonna help?
I can use this. Hey, that's not half bad.
I'll remember this.
Don't neglect your daily studies.
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat.
I feel like I've taken hold of something.
Hey, that's not half bad.
Time to work you into shape.
A new path to tread.
Hey, new power! All right.
This better not be one of those weird powers.
Even a mule will eventually reach its destination.
I shall carry my beloved sister on my shoulders to strengthen my legs.
How about no? Just carry a boulder or something. Can I take a nap yet?
Training can be the difference between victory and defeat. Can't wait to see how you do.
You ready for this?
Come at me. No hesitation.
You actually managed to dodge that.
Not sure dodge is the word I'd use. I just let my power loose without even thinking. Guess I'm still no match for you.
Give yourself a little credit. It took everything I had to keep up. If you could avoid an attack like that, then you're easily on par with me.
But you barely even used your power. You know, the one that throws off your enemy's perception or whatever? I wouldn't have stood a chance if you hit me with that.
So you've noticed it.
How could I not? We've fought about 1,000,000 times by now. Your power's not exactly visible, so it's definitely tougher to catch on to than mine. But I've experienced your kind of beatdown firsthand, so I'm painfully aware of the damage you can inflict.
Sorry about that. I couldn't afford to pull any punches back then.
It's fine. Water under the bridge. So, have you had your power for long? Where'd you learn it? I was kind of wondering if I could pick it up myself.
I only became aware of it when I was fighting hard against you. But I don't think it's something a person can learn. Even I barely understand how it works.
Right, gotcha. Sounds like we're in the same boat then.
Yes, just two strange people with even stranger powers. And I'm not only talking about your sword.
Hmm?
Do you ever feel like there's some sort of mysterious presence within you?
Oh,
It's just that sometimes it's hard to tell what you're thinking. Like you get distracted by something from time to time. Almost like you're talking to someone else inside your head.
Nah, what? I don't even get what you mean.
Well, that's all right. Forget I said anything.
If you say so.
Hunger is the true enemy.
Solid, solid.
Nothing is more joyous than a friend treating me to a meal and getting to enjoy it with my beloved sister.
Right. But can we not do this whole beloved sister thing in front of other people? It's so embarrassing.
Come back whenever you're hungry. Hunger is the true enemy.
Yeah, the flavor's not really there.
This is pretty good for Merc Grub. You could learn a thing or two, Leone.
I could make something as good as this. No sweat. I've been working on my cooking skills, you know.
Come back whenever you're hungry. Hunger is the true enemy.
Solid, solid.
Well, this is a welcome change. Lately, I feel like we've been eating nothing but what we forage from the surrounding hills.
Yes, I know. It's just that I've been doing so many experiments, I lack the funds for proper meals.
Come back whenever you're hungry. Hunger is the true enemy. Come back whenever you're hungry.
Care to make yourself useful?
Counting on you both.
Come on, we'll do it together.
Right. Let's get this out of the way.
We all must do our fair share. Care to make yourself useful?
Counting on you both.
Let's get this over with.
I am confident you'll be impressed with my efforts.
We all must do our fair. Care to make yourself useful?
counting on you both.
I will see it done speedily.
And you need me for this? Are you sure?
We all must do our fair share.
The fight starts now. Stay safe. A life is the only thing we can't replace. This place won't be a problem anymore.
We won't lose, no matter what.
My accomplishments won't mean a thing if I'm not still standing when the battle's over. Don't mind if I do. Here it comes! Out of the way! You're done! Is that all we've got?
I do hope you'll make this fun for me.
We can ill afford defeat here.
bitter than blackest coffee.
Right on.
It is certainly worth an attempt.
I'll take you all on! I'm unstoppable.
You shall pay for this, you hear?
The stronghold's ours. Out of the way! Out of the way! This is just the beginning. Out of the way! Here it comes! Take this! You're done! This place won't be a problem anymore. Out of the way! Take this! Out of the way! Still improving. Here it comes! Take this! You're done! Here it comes! Take this! You're done! I'll win the next one too, if I just stay focused. I won't let myself stop here.
Your Majesty, the Federation army has reached the eastern outskirts of Ferdiad.
Already? They moved more swiftly than I anticipated. Clearly the snows of Fargus are not a reliable ally.
I was sure this attack would come at the same time as an offensive from the Imperial Army. But from all I've seen at our western front, that doesn't seem to be the case at all.
So the Federation army is trying to conquer our capital by themselves? They must think our military is totally incompetent.
Well, it is true that the majority of our forces have been divided between the Western Front and the peacekeeping operations in the north. A situation most likely engineered by Claude himself.
Regardless, it is preposterous to think that an army of that size could capture every castle in Fargus. Even if they were to defeat us now, Their victory would only win them the capital for a brief period of time.
True enough. The lords of Fargus would converge upon them and retake Ferdiad with ease.
Then that must be part of their plan. If they do not intend to hold the capital, there must be something else they seek to gain. Something that concerns the Central Church, perhaps.
That sounds about right. Maybe they're trying to curry favor with Edelgard by destroying the church before the Imperial army does.
Assuming that's true, it would suggest we could avoid a battle entirely if we turned our backs on the church.
But doing so would divide Fargus and lead to even more bloodshed. Is that not the conclusion we reached when this all began?
It was. And that's why we're still in this war today.
I understand what you mean. If our involvement needlessly spills even more blood, then our calculations were gravely mistaken. However, the Church has saved a great many people. People with no place to go, no home to call their own. The most optimal outcome would be to protect our people, our future, and the Church all at once. But if I must choose to sacrifice one of those things, the answer is clear. I will do what I must as the King of Fargus.
Your Majesty, we must act soon if we are to meet the Federation army. I await your orders.
I suppose we cannot act without first verifying Claude's true intentions. We must take the field. At the moment, we have no choice but to play the part Claude has written for us in this charade. Sylvain, don't let your enthusiasm get the better of you. If you find yourself too far ahead, fight your way back to us.
I don't know what you're talking about, Your Majesty. I've got a much cooler head than you think.
Rodrigue, send an envoy to Camulus and arrange for the evacuation of Lady Rhea and the others. And have the Knights of Seros who are stationed in the capital accompany her. Tell them they are to serve as her bodyguards.
Won't we need them to aid in the defense of Ferdiad?
For now, I'd like them as far away from here as possible.
Understood. If by some chance we do find cause to sever ties with the Church.
Speak no further, Rodrigue. Not yet. Right now, we fight to defend our capital. That is all.
Uh-huh.
I see.
Allow me to assist with any matters regarding the facilities. Let me know if I may be of further service.